In case you are unfamiliar with Marco Rubio, he is the Republican competitor to Republican Governor Charlie Crist in the race for Florida's Senate seat, vacated by Mel Martinez, who, like Evan Bayh, got so disgusted with the corruption in Washington that he resigned early. Hello there. It is time to wake up and smell the coffee. Let me introduce you to Marco Rubio, a Tea Party CPAC celebrity.
The good news is that over the last few months, a growing majority of Americans have come to see this issue the way you and I do. They understand that we don't have a healthcare crisis in America.
Right. We have no healthcare crisis in America, except that 50 million Americans have no health insurance.
The solution lies in a vibrant private market, where folks like you and I can buy health insurance the way we buy our auto insurance.
And except that my nitro spray, for which I paid $70 5 years ago, now costs at Walmart of all places $145 per bottle. That is a 20% price increase per year. In Canada, I paid $24, which includes a $12 shipping charge. And except, of course, that 30 Democrats joined Republicans and voted for outlawing me buying it from Canada.
We do have a health insurance problem, however.
He's got that right. Buy health insurance. Yep.
And the kind of price that we can afford.
Prices we can afford? Dream on, Marco. In response to the Healthcare Summit, Marco Rubio pledged to support legislation to repeal any federal healthcare takeover that passes this year. Indeed, Rubio took the Club for Growth pledge to repeal government takeover of healthcare. Rubio claims these so-called reforms would hurt the ability of Americans to keep the coverage they are satisfied with, an idiotic claim. Threaten the sanctity of the doctor-patient relationship, pure idiocy, and bring the nation closer to a single-payer system. Americans deserve better, he says. I am familiar with the European healthcare system, except for the UK, and can tell you that they work perfect. I needed triple bypass when on a visit from the US in Germany, was accepted by the German Heart Center and was given a quad bypass for the price of a triple bypass. Actually, not only did I not have to pay one single penny, I was kept at the hospital for nearly 4 weeks, free. Apparently, this Congress is incapable to create the same conditions here. In a CNBC interview conducted by Larry Kudlow, Marco Rubio proposed that if he were elected, he would call for a recess of 2 years or something like that, so no laws or reforms could be enacted. Now that's the spirit. Marco Rubio was on Morning Joe, and as all good conservatives do, he bashed entitlements, such as Social Security and Medicare, but stopped short of disclosing what he would do. Well, isn't that what we all want? I mean, get rid of retirement benefits, get rid of Medicare? Who is Marco Rubio really? According to Charlie Crist, Rubio is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you get. Actually, he is an attorney who became a Miami commissioner, who became a lobbyist, who was elected to the State House and eventually became its speaker. Oh, and please don't waste your time. As a matter of public record, he was registered as a lobbyist in Miami-Dade. His positions are not all that clear. Like any good politician, his positions seem to change as required. Remember the bunch of chocolates? First, he lambasted Charlie Crist when Crist supported the stimulus package and took money from the feds. Indeed, Rubio joined conservative governors Rick Perry, Sarah Palin, Bobby Jindal and Haley Barbour in opposing the stimulus, demonstrating that he had not a clue when it comes to macroeconomics. But then he changed his position and claimed he would have taken the money too. First he voted for a cap on trade carbon tax, but then enacted legislation killing it. But wait, here comes Marco Rubio's money bomb. While he was the Speaker of the Florida House, he was given a GOP American Express card and used it promptly to charge personal expenses on it. Purchases charged by Rubio as political expenses and billed to the GOP included $765 at Apple's online store for computer supplies, $25.76 from Everglades Lumber for supplies, $53.49 at Winn-Dixie in Miami for food, $68.33 at Happy Wine in Miami for beverages and meal, $78.10 for 2 purchases at farm stores in suburban Miami, $412 at All Fusion Electronics, a music equipment store in Miami for supplies. Even Fox reported about Rubio's lavish charges to the GOP credit card. Oh, and not to forget a haircut at the barber store for $130. He billed the GOP some $7,000 for flights from Miami to Tallahassee during the 2007 and 2008 legislative sessions which he attended as the Speaker. When the treasurer of the GOP eventually objected, Rubio wrote a check for, I believe, $13,000 some. Yet neither Rubio's campaign nor the GOP want to release any documents. Well, according to the Miami Herald, Rubio missed 3 payments to a Tallahassee property management group, which Rubio described as personal, which remained paid by the party, totaling $1,024, and a couple of other charges as state and the credit card records show. Wow, that actually is a violation of federal law, which restricts party expenses to electioneering, period. Indeed, Joanne Peterson, the regional press secretary of the DNC, released a statement in which she says, "The question is not whether Marco Rubio is the latest Republican to be swept up in a growing corruption scandal, or whether he has violated tax and campaign finance laws. But the question is whether the Florida Republican Party is a criminal enterprise." Get this. If it had nothing to hide, it should release all credit card statements and documents, she says. But then the Tea Partiers couldn't care less. Question: are you ready for another cute big spender who talks out of both sides of his mouth?
The good news is that over the last few months, a growing majority of Americans have come to see this issue the way you and I do. They understand that we don't have a healthcare crisis in America.
I'll see you.